My name is Lily Hart, and I grew up in a family where appearances meant more than love. My mother, Diane, was an image-obsessed socialite who had spent her life curating the illusion of a perfect family. My father, Marcus, was a spineless man who followed her around like a shadow, rarely voicing an opinion. Then there was Candace, my older sister. Beautiful, ambitious, praised by everyone. She was a mirror of our mother, elegant, sharp-tongued, cold. And then there was me. I was the afterthought. The artist. The dreamer. The one they never quite understood. Or wanted to. But one person always did, my grandfather, Henry Hart. Grandpa Henry had the kind of warmth that wrapped around you like a blanket on a cold night. A retired aerospace engineer, he was brilliant, kind, and a true gentleman. He was the only person who remembered my birthday without Facebook reminders. He came to my art shows, sent me letters while I was in college, and made the best blueberry pancakes on Sunday mornings. He also happened to be incredibly generous. After decades of saving and investing smartly, Grandpa Henry had amassed a small fortune. But he never flaunted it. He wore worn-out sweaters, drove a modest Toyota, and lived in the same cozy cottage for 40 years. He believed in living simply and giving meaningfully. For years, he had planned something special, one last family trip. Italy had always been his dream destination, and he wanted to share that dream with all of us. He paid for first-class tickets, booked luxury hotels, hired a private guide, and rented a villa nestled in the Tuscan countryside. The total cost was over $60,000, his life savings. He told everyone this would be a celebration of love, legacy, and family. But what happened would become the exact opposite. The day of the trip was filled with buzzing excitement and impatient chatter. We arrived at the airport in style, matching luggage, designer clothes, cameras ready. Grandpa wore his favorite beige travel suit and a new hat he'd bought just for this occasion. He looked like a child going on his first adventure. He clutched his leather-bound travel folder that contained all the tickets and documents. He had meticulously prepared for this, organizing everyone's boarding passes, passports, itineraries, and even snacks for the flight. His hands trembled, but his heart was full. When it came time to board, Diane suddenly turned to Grandpa. "Wait," she said, fake concern in her voice. "Where's Dad's ticket?" Candace chimed in, flipping through the papers. "It's not here." "That's strange." "What do you mean it's not here?" I asked. "He had everything this morning." Mom's face turned stiff. "Well, we can't wait. Security lines are long. We'll miss the flight." "I'll stay with him," I said immediately. "You will not embarrass me," she hissed. "I'll give him my ticket," I insisted. "He paid for everything. He should go." That's when she slapped me, right across the cheek. It wasn't just a slap. It was a declaration. That I didn't matter. That he didn't matter. "Suit yourself," she said. And they left. Just like that. They walked away, wheeling their luggage, chattering like nothing happened. Even Dad didn't look back. Not once. Grandpa stood frozen, his hat clutched tightly in his hands. His eyes, once sparkling, were damp with disbelief. "Well, sweetheart," he said softly, "looks like it's just the two of us." We drove back home in silence. I glanced at him now and then, his face was blank, lost. When we reached his cottage, he stepped out slowly, as if he had aged 10 years in that single day. That night, I cooked us dinner, pasta, garlic bread, and red wine. He tried to enjoy it, but every bite seemed like a burden. "I don't understand," I said, unable to hold it in. Why would they do that to you? He sipped his wine. Because I'm no longer useful to them. I clenched my fists. No. They don't get to treat you like this. He smiled faintly. It's all right, Lily. But it wasn't all right. That night, I stayed up combing through legal documents, researching family trust laws, and diving into Grandpa's investment portfolio. I wasn't a lawyer, but I had studied finance. I had connections. And I had fire in my chest. The next morning, I sat him down. I want you to change everything, I said. Your will. Your beneficiaries. Your legacy. They don't deserve anything. He was quiet. You really think that's the answer? No, I replied. I think it's justice. And so it began. For the next few weeks, I stayed with him. I helped him review every document, his accounts, stocks, properties, and assets. We met with an estate attorney, a sharp, kind woman named Anita, who handled everything with discretion and care. He changed his will. He revoked power of attorney from my mother. He updated his trust. The new documents stated that all his assets, including his house, cars, businesses, stocks, and over $4 million in cash and properties, would go to me. I protested at first. This is too much. But he shook his head. It's not about money. It's about dignity. About rewarding those who love without condition. We didn't tell anyone. Instead, we lived quietly. Cooked. Watched movies. Played board games. We even painted the old garden shed together. It was the best 2 weeks of my life. When they came back, the house was filled with noise again. Laughter, stories, souvenirs. They bragged about their private wine tastings, their exclusive boat ride on the Amalfi Coast, their luxury shopping. I went to meet them at the airport, standing quietly near the exit. Mom narrowed her eyes. Still here, huh? Candace laughed. You didn't miss much. Italy's not really for people like you. I smiled. Grandpa wants to see you tomorrow. Family meeting. They didn't suspect a thing. The next day, they gathered in Grandpa's living room. Designer shoes on the carpet, iced lattes in hand. Candace scrolled on her phone. Mom adjusted her pearls. Dad stood near the window. Grandpa entered, supported by his cane but looking taller than ever. I've made some decisions, he said. They chuckled. Oh God, here we go, Candace muttered. He handed each of them an envelope. What's this? Mom asked. Your share. They opened it. Inside was a single sentence. You have been removed as a beneficiary effective immediately. What is this joke? Mom shrieked. It's not a joke, Grandpa said calmly. You left me. At the airport. Like trash. It was a misunderstanding. It was betrayal. Candace leapt to her feet. We'll sue you. You can try, he replied. But everything is airtight. Legally. Permanently. They stormed out. Weeks turned to months. The threats stopped. The lawyers confirmed it, there was nothing they could do. Candace's husband left her when the financial strain hit. Mom and Dad had to sell their home. Their community turned cold when the story spread, not from me, but from whispers. The media picked it up. The man who cut off his family after they abandoned him at the airport. My inbox filled with people thanking us. Telling similar stories. Donating to Grandpa's new foundation. When Grandpa passed away 3 years later, I held his hand until his last breath. His funeral was filled with strangers who he had helped. People cried, hugged me, told stories. I used his legacy to launch the Henry Hart Foundation, a nonprofit for elder care, financial education for seniors, and awareness about age-based neglect. As for my family, they were silenced by shame, not law. And me? I didn't win anything. I simply stood up when no one else would. And sometimes, that's enough to change everything. The end.